Hi there, welcome back to Survivor Geek. I'm Doug, and today we're going to be talking about water filtration. Now, when we first started our company here, we tried a lot of different filters, looked at a lot of different companies, because we wanted to find a filter that really exemplified the innovative, effective, portable, and affordable. That's our company motto. And like I said, we tested a lot, and the company we finally settled on to go with is a company called Seychelle. They're a little company, I believe they're in California. They've been doing water filtration for about 16 years. They supply water filtration to countries who've had disasters. Like I remember after the earthquake in Haiti, we couldn't get filters from them because they were sending so many over to deal with that disaster. And then when Japan had their tsunami and stuff, they were sending a lot over there too. So they're a really good company. They're trusted by a lot of government and nonprofit organizations. And they've been extensively tested by labs in the United States, in South Africa, and in the United Kingdom. And those tests consistently show a very high level of filtration for these, whether it be cysts and protozoa, whether it be bacteria or viruses, whether it be heavy metals or other poisons that could be in the water, pesticides and whatnot. They're just a very, very effective filter and very affordable. Alright, so these are the different models that we carry. We have the filter bottle and also a filter canteen. And these are really a good option for just carrying a small amount of water as you're hiking along or traveling along. If you run across frequent water, you just basically pop the top off of these and you can scoop up some water, put them back on, and I mean, you can just drink right out of the bottle or the canteen as your preference. They don't take up a whole lot of space. They're very easy to use, and it's really fast. You know, I know one guy who really prefers using a bottle-style filter like this simply because, you know, he can just scoop in the stream and then just keep going. He doesn't have to take off his pack, and he can just keep hiking. And so they're really really good for that type of scenario. And each of these filters will filter about 100 gallons of water. And you know when the filter is done because you actually can't suck water out of it anymore. It just stops filtering. It's all clogged up. And it actually clogs up long before its filtration capabilities are expended. So the little bottle there, and the canteen here is actually a new one that they've just come out with. And they say that this will fit most canteen holders that are out there. It's got the curved back there and everything. And the only real difference between these two is that this one, the filter's on the bottom, so you hold it upright while you drink your water. And this one here, the filter's up here at the top, so you actually have to tilt it up to drink. But other than that, they work about the same. They've got the same filter. The next one that I've got here is the inline filter. And this is the one that I really prefer. This is my water bladder and my setup here. What you do is you actually cut the hose from your water bladder to the nozzle there, and you actually put the filter right in line. So you can just fill up your water bladder, and once again, just as you drink, you create the pressure that pulls the water through the filter and filters out your water. And I really like this a lot better simply because the water bladder can hold a lot more water. I can carry up to 2.5 liters of water in this, or I can carry half a liter if I want. You know, it's variable, and that really makes it a lot more convenient in my mind, having that flexibility. The only downside to that then is that when you're refilling this at a stream, you have to take your pack off, you have to pull the bladder out, you have to scoop, and then you have to fit it all back in. So it does take a little bit longer to load up. But again, you're not having to sit there and pump filter the water, which can take a lot of time. Then last, we carry a straw filter. Now, the straw filter is really better for emergencies in my mind. It's lightweight, it's easy to use, you know, because you can see it's very compact. This will only filter about 25 gallons versus the others will do 100 gallons each. But I mean, that's obvious because of the size of them. And the other downside is that you always have to be around a water source when you're using this, or you have to, you know, contaminate a container and use this to drink out of that container then. And so, but it's a good little emergency filter. But for regular use, I really prefer the other ones there. The other nice thing about, I forgot to mention about this water bladder, is if you want to use it as a gravity filter, you can. You can actually either open up the nozzle at the end. Mine actually, I got a little quick detach that can pop off. I can actually hang up my water bladder just like this, and it'll gravity feed right through that filter, and so I can be filtering water for cooking or washing or something like that while I'm doing other stuff like setting up camp. So you'll notice that the type of filters that we've chosen to use here are all a suction-based filter rather than a mechanical pump filter or some of the thing like that. And the reason we chose that is because it's very mechanically simple. You're not going to have a breakdown or have little pieces snap off or whatever. They weigh a lot less, they're a lot more compact, and they're just a lot easier to use. You know, for drinking water, there's nothing easier than just drinking right through a straw with a filter attached to it, you know, essentially. And so for drinking water, I just don't think there's a better way of going. Now, as far as having water for cooking, some people argue you should filter your water before that, but when I tend to cook, I tend to boil the water anyway, and so even if that water is contaminated, as long as it's clear, I'm going to boil it, and that's going to kill any biological things in it anyway, and then it's safe to cook with, or to eat with there. And so these aren't as good for preparing water for cooking, but like I said, it just doesn't seem like that big of a loss to me. So that's why we prefer these style of filters. Now another thing that should be mentioned is that these filters all have a special medium in them called BioSafe, and this is because filters by themselves aren't as good at filtering out viruses and bacteria simply just because they're a lot smaller than the pore size on the filter. So Seychelle has added this extra medium called BioSafe that disrupts the cellular walls of the viruses and bacteria. It's akin to rolling a water balloon past a pincushion. You know, it's going to pop it and rupture that skin, and that destroys the cell. And so that basically disables it and makes that water safe to drink. So that's a really nice thing about those Seychelle filters, is that they are effective against most bacteria and viruses, which in North America we don't need to worry about a whole lot, honestly. And that kind of leads me to my next point, is a lot of people don't think that water filtration is necessary at all in North America. They cite the low virus and bacteria populations, especially up in areas like this, you know, up in the Rocky Mountains. There's also been a lot of talk about how the Giardia and Cryptosporidium scare is really blown out of proportion, and the water really is safe to drink because they just don't have a high enough number of those cysts in the water to infect a person. Because I believe in order to start a viable colony, you have to have like 25 cysts, and you know, in gallons of water, they're only finding, you know, a handful. Anyway, though, I mean, people argue this back and forth as to whether it's really necessary to boil or to purify your water or not, or filter your water or not. And my whole thought is, every single one of these filters that we showed is around $30, with the exception of the straw, which is about $16. And my whole thought is, for that price, why not just use it, just in case the water is infected with something? And especially in the mountains here where I hike, there's a lot of pack horse trails. And so there's pack horses and mules that are urinating and defecating maybe just upstream from where I'm filling up my water to drink. And so, you know, just things like that make me think, you know what, for $30, it's, you know, it ends up being like 30 cents a gallon. It's really not that expensive to prevent getting sick or prevent intaking something that's maybe not really all that pleasant. And it does filter out more than just the protozoa and the viruses and the bacteria as well. You know, I mean, it'll filter out heavy metals, it filters out pesticides, it'll filter out arsenic and things like that can be damaging to your body. So it's very, very useful. And another great thing, last thing I'm going to say about the Seychelle, is that the filters are very easy to store. What you can do, you pop off the filter, you run chlorinated water through it, blow it out or shake it out to try and get out as much water as you can, just let it air dry, and then once it's dry, you can just reassemble the whole thing, and you can just pretty much store it indefinitely. So anyway, that's why we've chosen to carry the Seychelle water filters in our company. They're very reliable, they've been tested extensively and proven to be very effective. They're trusted by a lot of different sources, and they're very easy to use and very affordable. And so you can come to our website, www.survivorgeek.com, and check them out. Thanks for watching.